What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to be talking about A Real Pain. Fox Searchlight has given this to me for my consideration. It did not have audio description. Honestly, side note, the debut portal needs Jesus in terms of accessibility. I actually had to have sighted help to be able to use the portal to get to the film. So, anyway, that's neither here nor there, but I'm trying to change the perception. Blind people watch movies too, and we can have critical thought about them. So I have a degree. We're doing this. I used to be sighted. I'm blind now. We're moving forward. I'm in critics groups. We're doing this. This is The Real Pain. A Real Pain. It premiered at Sundance, written and directed by Jesse Eisenberg. This is neither his writer nor directorial debut. He's done that before, so you can't praise him for that. You just haven't been paying attention. But it does star Jesse, Kieran Culkin, and interestingly, Jennifer Grey's here. It's not an Oscar thing though for her. It is for the two boys, but because it is really about them. It's just Jennifer Grey kind of pops up, which is interesting. It's worth mentioning. So, at the beginning of the film, we are introduced to these two cousins. David is played by Jesse Eisenberg, and Kieran Culkin. I've forgotten his name. The funny thing is I remember Jesse's because Kieran's calls him Davey all the time, and I feel like Jesse said Kieran's name a lot less, but he definitely has a name. So for purposes of this review, he's Kieran Culkin. And you definitely get the idea that Jesse is the serious one and Kieran is the wild one. So it's the odd pairing, right? It's the odd couple thing that Jesse's leaning into here. But what has happened is they are headed off to Poland to see where their grandmother grew up. She actually left some money in the will for them to do this. She really wanted them to have this trip, to have this experience. And they are headed there. Jesse has sort of put together this heritage tour. But Kieran is really just sort of interested in seeing sort of like the meat and potatoes of it. There's a little bit of back and forth between him and the tour director at times, that he feels like the tour director is giving like too much it feels too much like a touristy experience, and yet some of these people are really here to sort of experience like the weight of. So what's funny here is that Kieran feels like very much like what he's doing on Succession, but instead of saying nasty things and being like a horrible human being at times, sometimes the things that he's saying really are really meaningful and have weight to them. So he definitely feels like he's the character, on the loose in the film, but also at the same time, he's the one who obviously really does want to be here. And he's the one who clearly misses his grandmother, and sort of like in a more obvious, instantaneous way. And it takes Jesse Eisenberg, who's the more quiet character, a little bit of time to open up. But Jesse has a great scene, by the way, like an absolute. I was a little bit worried about Oscar chances. I know he picked up an Astro nomination, but I was a little bit worried about his chances simply because I was like, Kieran is doing all the work here. There's very much a co-lead situation, and they're just pushing Kieran and supporting. I really hope they leave him there and they just accept it so that he can, because I think he can win. Whereas I think he would have a hard time winning lead actor, but the supporting actor race is much easier for him to win, and he's fantastic in this. He gives his character so many levels. He takes what you've seen him do before, but Jesse has given him like new levels of that type of performance. It's sort of like watching somebody just get really appropriately cast. Like, I see what you do. Let's put you in something meaningful that really works. Jim Carrey had some of these performances and we just didn't nominate him for it. I mean, honestly, he was perfect for The Truman Show. It was perfect for Eternal Sunshine. It was just a director recognizing that the perfect person for this role is this person who has a specific set of skills, and it may not be a huge stretch for them, but you are sort of stretching the general concept of what this person is known for, because I don't think people will walk away from this thinking Kieran's an asshole. Like, it was debatable in Succession, you know, about his character and how likable he was in any given moment, depending on where you were in that show. So, he definitely had some great moments in Succession. I'm not saying he was a villain, like through and through, but I mean that the pilot like opened up with him like peeing on the window, like, you know, I mean, he's not necessarily the character you root for in Succession. So, um, anyway, so yeah, it's really just a really great use of Kieran, and I applaud Jesse for casting him in this and for going on this journey with him. And Jesse, for writing, directing, and starring, he deserves to be nominated for one of them. I don't care, but somewhere. Pick one. Just, like, let's get consistent about it. I wouldn't actually be mad if he was nominated for all three, because I think this is a really fantastic film. I want to have audio description so I can understand contextually what this is, but it's so much banter between these two boys, and the film is so heavily focused on them that I got so much out of their relationship. This is a very talky thing, but also there are times they're in Poland and you want to be able to feel that experience. So as a blind person needing audio description, the thing that they're there to experience, I couldn't experience with them because there's no audio description to experience sort of like Poland. So that is sort of the only thing that's holding back when we get down to tentative grades is just a lack. I would absolutely watch this again. This is one of the films definitely I plan on. There's a couple films that I've seen through screeners that didn't have accessibility that I absolutely plan on watching again when they hit like a streaming service. So expect me to talk about the audio description in that review, and probably even more so because I'm gushing about the film as it is right now. I don't think it plays in tech categories, though. I think it kind of just stops. I loved the music, but I have a feeling that's not original. If the music is original, please nominate it for score, because it was just like full of like orchestral classic piano stuff, and it was gorgeous, and it felt like it actually felt like it enhanced the movie. It felt a little unexpected, but I have a feeling what Jesse did is he went and he found like Polish composers, and I have a feeling if I Shazammed the movie, that I would find out that all those songs were just, you know, Debussy, Suite 3, you know, like, I have a feeling that that's what that is. But if there was a dude who wrote this music, I'm saying, please, because I did love the music. It's funny how we never have an award for best like use of music, because there are some films that have really sort of expertly either crafted like the perfect soundtrack of songs that we know and love. Like I would say like Deadpool and Wolverine has so many songs that are like really sort of expertly chosen for that film, but are not original, you know. And this one also just has such a beautiful use of music either way. So yeah, I think it stops at writing. I don't think it goes any further below the line there. There's nothing. I didn't hear an original song. If there is an original song, my bad. If there's an original song competing for Real Pain, I was more enamored with the piano concertos than I was with the original song. I'm sorry. I mean, they sing Hava Nagila and they make fun of it, but that's they're like, oh, it's, you know, it's just Hava Nagila. It's like, we've heard that before, but I think Kieran's brilliant. I think Jesse's brilliant. I think this film is great. I think you should watch it whenever you come to it and experience it. There's some family history and dynamics and stuff for them to explore that I just don't want to spoil and get into. But there's more depth to these characters that they will unleash. The film is really short. It's like 90 minutes. So it's not even it's sort of like the best thing that you could get nominated at Best Picture, especially to like counterbalance some of the longer movies, because it's nice to have something in there that isn't like 3 hours or 3+ hours. And when we're looking at nominees, like The Brutalist at 3.5 hours, Dune is like 3 hours. Uh, uh, we've got Wicked is 2:45. You know, what I mean, like those are all likely nominees. It's nice to have a 90-minute, just something in there that you can quickly pop in. When you don't have 3.5 hours to knock off an Oscar contender. So I hope it gets picture. I don't think Jesse's going to get in for director. That would be the last thing I would nominate him for. I would be much more interested in him getting that 5th place spot. He has one acting nomination previously for Social Network. But and definitely for screenplay. I think he should definitely get in. And Kieran for supporting actor. I think that's probably the package. I have a feeling Jesse's not going to get in for director. I think that's too tall of an order. There are too many titans. Too many people have done some really just wild shit this year in direction. I don't see him. This is too simple of a movie, but I want to applaud him for doing it because I think it's his best work as a director. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this. I can't fully land on a grade. There's that tinge of unwatchable that comes along with everything, but where I can't give it my full stamp of approval. But I'm going to tentatively give this thing an A because I don't know. I think the audio description will give it context, and it'll just reaffirm what I already feel about the movie. It'll just make me feel like the difference now is like, is it in my top 10 or not? Because I've definitely given more than 10 A's this year. And that's sort of where it's at. Is like the audio description could provide that level of context where I feel maybe cold in some places because I'm like, well, I could use audio description there. But I'm having a really good feeling that this is going to be a film that I end up rewatching and loving. So, a great experience. When this comes, it's already out in theaters. So if you have it around you, go see it. Make sure to watch it with audio description. I don't know when Fox is going to put this out on. It has to hit VOD first, and then it'll eventually go to Hulu. It probably won't go to Hulu until like March, if we're being realistic. So, but that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.